I want you to know that I do my part to keep restaurants working, even through the pandemic. I eat out. I'm single.
Yeah.
I eat out every meal.
I know. Well, I know it's hard to cook for one.
I don't know
I
how
would
to cook.
think. But, yeah, Ann and I eat out a lot.
Do you?
But I will tell you this. It's getting really expensive to eat out.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
I honestly, I went to the grocery store a few weeks ago to buy some things. I was going to try to eat at home a little bit. Everybody keeps saying you can save money by eating at home. Mm-hmm. I haven't found that to be true, and I don't know what things are supposed to cost anyway.
Yeah.
So I just figured it's easier to go out and get something. I mean, honestly, I try to cook. I burn the salad. So I gave
I'd
up
like
on
to
the
see
whole thing.
that, actually.
I gave up
Uh-huh.
on the whole thing. And restaurants are making a comeback, finally, thank goodness. Lisa Miller is a restaurant consultant. She joins us now on News Talk 820 WBAP. Hello, Lisa.
Good morning.
Are restaurants doing better?
They are. It's interesting. I love that intro. Is burning salads? That's a feat. And
I just didn't understand the concept of it.
yeah, that's it. Maybe some Brussels sprouts there. I don't know, but yeah. So restaurant sales have been coming back, but it's an interesting quandary. Is so the pent up demand, as you guys know, we've been talking about before, is there's so much excitement to get back to restaurants and, really come together and enjoy it. But as you just said, it's very expensive. And so what's happening is sales are actually up, which is great because, they had even been down. But a lot of that is because it costs more now versus necessarily more people walking through the door.
Is there any specific level of restaurant that's doing better than the others? Maybe the higher end restaurants are doing better, or something like an IHOP or an Applebee's doing better?
Well, that's a great question. And yeah, in fact, what's interesting is that it is the upscale restaurants and then the what's called kind of upscale casual. Those are the ones that are actually doing better. And if you think about why, consumers are willing to pay a little bit more for that better experience. That group of restaurants has been doing a little bit better job on labor. Because if you think about how consumers are so excited, as I mentioned, but if you go in and you have to wait and the service is slow and, oh, by the way, my favorite item isn't available, it's not very fun. So consumers are choosing to, spend a little bit more for those higher end experiences.
My wife and I went and had lunch yesterday at a restaurant. As you went into the restaurant itself, on the door, please be patient. We're glad you're here, but we have a staffing shortage. So when you go out to eat now, that you may have to have a different time frame, a frame of mind to sit there and enjoy it. Don't be in a hurry.
Well, I think that's right. And, I guess it was around November of last year, more and more of those signs were out in places. And what was happening back then was, expectations were high, but patience was low. And do you guys remember when, people were just having really, really the customers were having really, really bad behavior. So I guess the good news is I think we've all chilled out a little bit now that, those signs are up. And I think, we don't see those scuffles in restaurants anymore, which thank goodness. But yeah, people are just excited to get back out, and with warmer weather coming, especially here in Dallas, and it'll just be a good time to support the businesses and help them get back on their feet.
Lisa, how many restaurants did we lose during the pandemic?
It was, I don't have that number off the top of my head, but I know it was, 100. Like I want to say it might have even been 100,000.
Wow!
And I think that it was a lot of restaurants, and the thing it's kind of an unintended consequence, right? So a lot of those companies that were maybe on the brink anyway, unfortunately, those restaurants didn't make it. But the positive, the unintended consequences, that does help the restaurants that are still open today. So while it is horrible that those did go out of businesses, there's a little bit of a silver lining for those that are still in business.
Lisa Miller, thank you. If you ever come to town, I'll buy you lunch. Okay.
Hal gets it. He gets it.